Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome in. Happy Friday. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam, Ronis with you right here on this Friday morning, hanging out with you for the next couple of hours, breaking down everything you need to know going into Week 18, the final week of the regular season for the NFL. And we are so excited to be here. Adam, how you doing? Happy New Year. How's it
Happy
going?
New Year to you as well. Nice to see you today.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're
What, that
welcome.
sounds like a dig. What?
Oh, it's
What?
not.
No,
It's
not
not at all.
okay.
What are you talking about?
I know you. I know you. I stayed up though. That was the first thing you asked me. You know how many, by the way, you've started a movement and I can't even post. I can't post on Instagram. I can't say Happy New Year's on Twitter because people are like, did you stay up? I don't think you stayed up. Even my mom texted me. She's like, were you awake? I said, yes, I was awake. Thank you so much for asking. I did stay up though. It was awful. Hated it.
You went to sleep, what, at
Well,
12:02?
right away.
Yeah.
12:05. Eyes shut.
Damn.
Ready to go. Yeah. I don't know why you do that.
Yeah, it's
There's
pretty
like
rough.
there's no, usually I just celebrate the East Coast. I used to just celebrate the East Coast ball drop and then I'm like, okay, time for bed. Yeah,
Well,
it
that's
was
it
fine.
probably ruined you. Are you back on track today?
I'm back on track. Took a couple naps,
Okay.
needed to because obviously, sleep. But yeah, we're back on track. How about you? How was your New Year's? Oh,
It was
nice.
pretty good. Yeah, I didn't do anything crazy. I was
There you go.
you know, was home and watching some
Nice.
college football and yeah, it was
There you
nice.
go. Hey, Shrinking's back, by the way. You see that?
It is
January, no. They announced January like 28th coming back.
28th. Okay.
Yeah, so like a
Great.
couple weeks. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
and
so
then I got my
excited.
Impractical Jokers back next week.
Oh, really?
Yep,
Oh, no. You need to figure out when they start filming those and
I
just go
know
to the
because
mall or something
they
because you need to run into them.
they film a lot at the mall by me, which I've
Yes.
only been to one time in my life.
Well, you need to go there multiple times.
That's true. And then
But if they
maybe
tried to prank you, would you tell them? You wouldn't go
no, I
along
would
with
go
it.
along with it like I
No,
didn't
you
know who they
wouldn't.
were. I would.
Really?
I absolutely would.
You would fan out too much. You'd be a
No, I
fan.
wouldn't. I would see
Really?
them right away and notice them and be like, "All right, I got to find a way to get pranked and get on the set and then
Oh my
showcase my
gosh.
skills."
Exactly. This is the trajectory. Like we have to get that. We have to make that
It's all in the
happen.
plan. And then once I
No, for
become a
sure. We
star there,
manifest.
I'll probably still do a show.
Oh, thank you.
I'll have your schedule where I'll take off
Okay.
all
Would
holidays.
you get out of here? Just don't forget us when that happens. How about that?
I'll
Like you
just
could
like
still do
every
this show.
holiday, like whatever the holiday is, like it could be
Take it
the
off.
smallest holiday, but yeah, I'm off.
You're so annoying. We do have to manifest that for you though, and you need to just go out there and do that
That's
because
true.
you need to meet them or like get a cameo from them. You could buy that. They could say happy birthday. Oh, maybe
And
that's your
I
birthday
don't like
present.
those.
What?
The
Why?
cameos?
Yeah.
You're into those?
I don't know. I've never gotten one.
Oh, neither have I. I don't know. They just
I
seem
don't know. Maybe if we get you an Impractical Jokers one, you'll like it. Anyway.
possibly. I mean, I'm not gonna hate it, but it's not the. I don't know. That's not something that I would be like, wow, this was so cool.
Dang, I have to send back your gift then.
Yeah, I think you do. You better get that
Oh
Folgers
my
back.
gosh, whatever. All right. Well, happy New Year's to everyone. We are again so grateful for you to be listening to us here today again for the next couple of hours. I guess we can talk about football, Adam, or we could just keep talking about Impractical Jokers, TV shows that we're watching. Week 18. We've got a few games, like a handful of games here this weekend that means something, that these teams are playing for something. Others, we're going to talk contract incentives today. I think at the top, like we can just go through some of the news. So it looks like Lamar Jackson is trending towards playing. Says he's playing in a must-win game versus the Steelers, and that's always been his mindset, 100%. So this is good, at least. This is good for Baltimore Ravens. I don't know what your expectations are in this game. Like if the Ravens come in and are going to just really run away with it. We know in the games prior, especially the last one, Derrick Henry was a hero for us in fantasy football. So in these games where they are meaningful, I think if people are looking at fantasy, if you still have fantasy to play for week 18, even DFS that we're going to break down, this is one that you can probably turn to.
Yeah, it's a tricky week because
Yeah.
some teams are going to rest players. Other times, players are going to leave the game early. So you are trying to focus on the games where both sides have something to play for. And that is the case with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. It's just that it's been such a rocky season for Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson. And then what is his health? Yeah, he's going to play, but how healthy is he? And we've seen Derrick Henry finish this season strong. So it's going to be a heavy dosage of Derrick Henry once again. And I mean, Lamar Jackson has shown down the stretch that you can't trust him, right? Every week you are
Yeah.
waiting. You're like, all right, here's the matchup against the Bengals. This is the week. And he did not throw a touchdown in that game. So it's tough to rely on Lamar Jackson at this point.
I was reading, one of the things that they're going to have to do, the Baltimore Ravens, is they are just going to have to win that turnover battle. The Steelers have forced the third most takeaways in the NFL with 26, and so we know that that's going to be one of the things you have to look at in this game. And like we said, Derrick Henry, I mean, 186, 2 touchdowns. When we're looking at the stopping the run for them on the other side, so I think this will be a good game. Not as good as maybe one Saturday afternoon game, Adam. Maybe late night game, but. What do you yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with this one, which is fine, but we only have a handful of ones that we necessarily like.
Yeah, look, it's a good rivalry, Pittsburgh
Yeah.
and Baltimore, and there's a lot on the line. So that'll just increase the intensity of the game, but it's not the same matchup as it has been in recent years.
No.
Both teams have some issues at this point.
Where do you think Lamar goes next year in drafts? After the year that we've seen. Like if we talk about injuries and we always apply it to the quarterbacks, right? Or the running backs, excuse me. We say, "Oh, well, CMC with the workload, Saquon Barkley with the workload that he got, there's no way he's going to stay healthy." Do we have to apply that same exact thought process to Lamar Jackson? I mean, I can't remember the last time that we said that he was at a Wednesday practice, which they have now just said that's going to be at the middle of the season this year. They said, well, that's just going to be how it is the rest of the way. So he can get an extra week of rest. But it hasn't just been one injury the whole time. It's been multiple different injuries. How are you going to assess him next season? Because I don't know where he ends up going.
He's still going to go as a top 5 quarterback. I'm pretty sure of it. It won't be me, but I
Oh, he's
think
your stay away.
no, I'm not going. So we had the discussion before this year, and I said if there was
Mhm.
any year that I felt more comfortable taking a quarterback early, it was this year. Did I do it? No. So thank
I
goodness,
mean,
right?
I was going to say that actually probably worked
It,
out for you though,
yeah,
because some
because
of those quarterback injuries that Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, like
Lamar got
they've been
hurt, Jaden
they've been
Daniels got
tough.
hurt, Joe
Yeah.
Burrow got hurt.
Hmm.
So, and there was some, I liked Drake May a lot. I liked
Yeah.
Dak Prescott a lot for where they were going. So, yeah, I had quite a bit of Dak, not enough Drake May, as we've talked about. So, I'm probably going to employ the same strategy where I just wait on the quarterback position. So, if Lamar Jackson's going to still go as a top 5 quarterback, then he'll land on a different team.
I think he'll go three or yeah, three.
Yeah,
I
I
think it'll
think
be Josh Allen. And honestly, I think Drake May at 2 next year.
I I'm not sure. He's definitely going to go top 3, top 4. I think
Yeah.
Allen will be in there. I think Lamar will be in there. Burrow will be in there. Drake May and maybe
Daniels?
Hurts again.
You don't think
Nah, I think
Daniels?
Daniels is going to go outside
Oh,
the top
okay.
5. Yeah, because of the injuries.
Yeah. I mean, I'd scoop up Jaden Daniels to be honest with you outside the
He's
top 5 though.
yeah, he probably goes 5 or 6 would be my guess.
I still hold firm too that we're going to have to shuffle a little bit because we won't get Patrick. Well, we should expect. I don't know. Maybe Patrick Mahomes is able to start the season, but
Good.
weirder things have happened. I mean, the way that they're able to rehab those injuries and kind of come back quicker than usual is has been phenomenal to watch, and it's good for all players and the NFL. The NFL as a whole. I still think Jackson Dart ends up being a top. I said top 10, but I'm now leaning more towards maybe a top 8 fantasy quarterback next year.
Yeah, he's going to go high because of his rushing ability. And let's
Yeah.
not forget, he will also have Malik Neighbors back. He did a
Oh,
lot of this
so
without
exciting.
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah. I think he ends up going maybe ahead of Jalen Hurts. I don't know if people want to go that far, but maybe 7, 7, 8. Then Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert will be in the top 10, and then maybe we round it out with Caleb Williams. But it'll be fun to see how those guys start ending up in drafts next year.
Yeah, it's always
We'll see.
interesting, especially early in the year. You see those drafts and how things can change. But it looks like it's going to be a lot of the same names, even though they disappointed.
Oh, for sure. Because we always have to go back. There's not that many elite dual threat quarterbacks. Like someone like maybe you wait. I'm curious to see where Trevor Lawrence ends up and how he finishes the season too. Because people will always remember like how the season ended. I think Dak Prescott's going to continue to be one that goes way outside where he should be. Honestly, I think he should be inside the top 10, but I don't know if people are going to draft that way. And I think people will take a long, hard look again at Matthew Stafford if he comes back because of the year that he's given us too. And think that
Nah,
maybe he
I
could do
don't
it
think
again.
so.
You don't think so? I
No.
think he'll be at 14.
Yeah, that's not very high considering
Well,
his
no, no,
season.
no. I didn't mean top 10, but I think that people look back and maybe push him up a little bit because of what we saw. It's the recency bias.
Yeah, and then it has to eventually balance out because you can't expect again, if you had Stafford this year, you got lucky. There's no way you saw this coming. There's
Yeah,
no
he was
one
probably
saw
your
this coming.
QB too.
Yeah. Or you picked him up off the waiver wire. Like this
Hmm.
is the best season he's had in like 5 years at age 37, 38.
Yeah. Where does Kyler
And he had
Murray
the
go?
back issue
Yeah, I
in
know.
August.
That's why I pushed past Puka Nakua in our draft. It was awful. Should have never done that. I would have
I mean,
lost anyway. But.
I don't know. We both made the semifinals and lost. So would it have made a difference?
And I think it would have. Yeah, I needed better running backs in that league. That's what I'm focusing on
Well,
next
we
year.
both passed on James Cook. I
Yeah, that
looked
was
back on
awful.
it. If I had
That
taken
was
James Cook
awful.
instead, then I probably would have had a chance to make the finals.
Yeah, that one was tough because that was the other person that we talked player we said, "Oh, well, regression is coming, right? There's no way he can do that again." And then they said, "Actually, no. It's just our whole offense is going to be run through Josh Allen and we're going to put everything on the shoulders of him and James Cook." Like that's
So
just
do
how it's going
you
to go.
do you realize that James Cook at this point in the season has more than 100 carries than he did last year? And that was
Remember
my
when we talked about that though? We sat here and we said, okay, the other side of this conversation could be that they just continue giving him the workload even after they paid him because they
well, it
know
makes
that's
more
just what they have
it
to
makes
do.
more sense. You paid him, so now you're not really worried. You're like, okay, well, we invested in this guy. He's going to be here, so that's why I was thinking maybe last year did they try and do that and limit his touches to try and bring down the money on the contract, and then it
Mm.
backfired because he scored 18
Because he
total
kept, because he
touchdowns.
kept going and they had to pay him anyway.
Like he's been this is his most efficient season
Oh yeah.
in his full years. Like he averaged 5.7 yards per carry as a rookie, but that was only over 89 carries in 16 games. He's at 5.2 this year. He was at 4.9 last year. So I just didn't see because my whole point was how are you going to take a running back with 207 carries that only catches 30 passes if those touchdowns are going to regress? Now, the touchdowns, they have regressed, not much though. Like he's got 1 week to go, and we'll
Yeah.
see how much he plays this week.
I don't think it's
But
gonna be much.
he has 14 total touchdowns. He had 18 last year. So did he regress? Yes, but not that much.
Yeah. Well, and the conversation last year too was that if the Bills ever gave James Cook 60 to 65%, 70% of the
Right. He was
snaps.
under 50%
No, I
last
know.
year.
That was the conversation. It was if they ever give him 60 to 65% of the snaps, he would give us a top 5, top 6 running back rushing upside or upside in general for fantasy. And the the uptick is exactly what we were looking for. Like we said he was a near lock for regression and then everything came true for that to be not be true. I
If I
like
remember too, weren't comments coming from I think it was the GM who said, "Yeah, well, we're gonna just run Cook the same. We got Ray
yeah.
Davis, Ty Johnson. We would just want to keep it the same." Well, they
Mhm.
lie sometimes, as we
No,
find
no,
out.
they don't. Well, he wanted to draft him for himself. That's what
Probably,
was
yeah.
happening. I mean, like, and even from 2023 to 2024, the inside 5 yard line attempts went from 15%. That was the huge jump, 15% to 48% last season. So yeah, everything broke right for James Cook managers. I'm not doing that again. We can't fade James Cook. We just can't do it. Now watch what happens next year. Then they pull him back. Then they get a wide receiver one. They say, okay, this is how we win.
They're never going to get a wide receiver one,
I don't
apparently,
know
or whoever
if they
they
don't make
think
this
is the wide
push.
receiver one. It's not going to work out.
What do you think
Keon
they do
Coleman.
in this push for the playoffs? Like at some point that's I said this when the trade deadline happened and I said I think we're going to look back at them not cuz remember they were in talks to get Jalen Waddle. And they were like, "Well, we tried to get Waddle and it didn't work." And then all the fans were like, "Okay, well, what are we doing here? What does that mean?" And so now Keon Coleman, they're just scratching every single week, and you've got Khalil Shakir, who's fine, but I think that's going to come back to bite him in the end. I can't. Can you imagine them going and winning a Super Bowl with the offense that they have right now?
No, the only reason why I don't want to X them out just yet is the AFC, and they
Hmm.
still have Josh Allen, but you cannot feel good about this team. And, Dalton Kincaid, when he's healthy, has been good, but he's never healthy again,
Yeah,
dealing with
that's
another
brutal.
knee issue. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of Cook and Allen that they're going to have to rely on and hope that their defense is good enough to get them by.
But those two are elite, so it's a good point. You can never just fully count them out because it's still Josh Allen and it's still James Cook who's having a phenomenal season. So we'll see what they do. Someone that we won't see this week, just wanted to hit on this, is Chris Olave, who can't catch a break. Adam, having a great season. if you were again, we're going to talk a little fantasy for week 18 just in case you're still in it. You go to week 18, but Chris Olave will be out for the finale due to a blood clot. So I guess per Adam Schefter, he was listed on the injury report with an illness. He missed Wednesday's practice, has no history of blood clots, and they said he's expected to recover within a month. But just kind of, I don't know, just kind of brutal for anyone if you're looking to play him in DFS fantasy football and just overall because he's had a great season, but he did stay healthy. We talked about him preseason with the concussions. What's he going to look like with a quarterback who we didn't know at the time? Was it going to be Rattler? Was it going to be Tyler Shough? But he ended with a great year that'll definitely push him up draft boards for 2026.
Yeah, for sure. It was a guy that earlier in the week I was like, all right, I'm probably going to play his props this week.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that won't happen. But what a finish to the season. You can make a case. There's a lot of guys in this 3-week playoff that put up big numbers. Olave's right there with them. Four total touchdowns. PPR, his points, 20.5, 36.8, 25.9. I mean, that is massive. Like he had, 3 of his better games of the season in the playoffs. So if you did get him this year, it was probably 6th round. I know I got him in a couple leagues, and he really delivered.
Oh, for sure. He's in the conversation of I don't think he would get it in people's votes, but honorable mention of MVP for the fantasy playoffs. And honestly, just overall, when we're talking about value picks, he has to be up there as someone that was the best value on the board based on where you got him because and that's where the conversation's led. But at some point, Adam, and that's what you and I always talk about, is that you have to stop the fall when we look at just pure talent and targets too. Like targets are so important that we just say, well, he's going to be peppered with targets. Like we know they had Juwan Johnson and they had Rashid Shaheed at the time, but we knew that he was going to be the focal point of that offense, no matter who their quarterback was going to be to start the season. So at some point, you probably looked around and said, well, he's talented. If he gets a concussion, there's nothing we can do about it because I think he's had 4, right? It's been 4 concussions in his career. And that's what sidelined him last year. So at some point I took him in a couple just because I looked around and I didn't like the other names. I just said, well, I'll take a gamble on him potentially getting injured. And if that happens, then hopefully I have someone better ahead of me.
Yeah, I think that's what most people were doing. I don't think a lot of people had faith in Olave. It was not only the concussions, it was also the state of the offense, who was going to be the quarterback for the Saints, and how is this offense going to look. So I think that had people shy away from Olave this year.
Saints put together a nice December. I can't say a year, but it was a good December for them, honestly. They're probably ending on a better note than they maybe expected. I don't know. I think Tyler Shough has done enough to be able to be their QB1 in 2026. I don't think that means that he's necessarily taking them to the Super Bowl, but they have so many holes in that roster that they need to look at, that I think that he's done enough in these last, handful of games that they could say, okay, maybe we can rely on him next year, but we'll see what they do. We never know what these teams are up to.
They probably feel that way now, the way they finished the season. And they're playing better football than either of the 2 teams that can win the division.
Right? What's happening here? I don't know what goes on at the end of the year, but regardless, fun enough to watch. Tyler Shough, again, still someone that we wrote up at fantasylife.com as a quarterback that you can stream if you need it this week. And again, you can find all of our rankings fantasylife.com as well. We're going to continue on those. So we're talking week 18. I do want to talk about those showdown games. I do want to talk about the Baltimore Ravens going up against the Steelers, of course, the Seahawks game against the 49ers, and we'll talk, Panthers, Buccaneers, Adam. We'll get through that. We're going to break those ones down here coming up next. Fantasy football is life. This is Fantasy Life right here on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you on this Friday. Vibes are good. Adam almost turned on the heat in his house the other day, but didn't because he doesn't do that. New year, no new year, new you.
No, usually it's once or twice during the winter. So if it gets down to like 0 degrees, then possibly.
God. So if anyone ever goes to Adam's place, bring a blanket, maybe a portable heater. Oh, a jacket for sure. You're not taking the jacket off. Exactly. No wonder why you're always bundled during the show. You're cold.
No, I'm usually not. I'm usually wearing short sleeve shirts, but today, it's a little cold, so I got a little hoodie on today.
It's gotten too. Hey, have you been able to go on your balcony?
Yeah. It opened up in October.
Oh, okay. That's right. I don't know why I thought they were still doing work on that and that you still haven't been able to go out there for 2 years, but I'm glad.
It's just not the ideal time to sit out there right now.
No, I wouldn't think so.
is shining on you during the afternoon.
Even then, I don't think that would feel good.
Yeah,
So just a note for anyone, everyone listening probably goes to Adam's house all the time to hang
they
out.
do. Yeah, there's a line
Bring a
outside.
blanket. Tickets are being sold now that you can go and check out. We're talking through some of these showdowns for the weekend. Some of the island games. We've got 3 of them this week, and all have significant importance in the upcoming playoffs here. So we're looking at 2 games tomorrow. One that we're super nervous about. Got the lasagna stuff on deck. Adam,
Yeah,
go
you're
on.
making it.
I think I have to, because
Okay.
if I don't, just like when I didn't, remember when I made the 3-tiered chocolate cake for the Mariners and they won that game?
Yeah.
Obviously not the other game 7. That's what they did. Yeah, that's what I have to do now. I have to keep that going. So we can start with Carolina though, because this is probably one that's that people are just shaking their heads, because Tampa Bay again going up against Carolina. Tampa Bay, by the way, even if they win on Saturday, they technically do not clinch immediately. They need the Atlanta Falcons to lose. So if you're watching this game on Saturday and if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do win and you're looking around and you're saying, "Wow, why aren't they celebrating?" It's because they truly do not know their fate. The Atlanta Falcons have just played spoiler the last couple of weeks, so they have a chance to play spoiler again. And if the Falcons win on Sunday, then the Panthers actually would go in. So we're gonna have to wait to see actually what happens. Unless the Panthers do win on Saturday, they go in immediately. But I think on Carolina side, the big question, Adam, to me, when I look at this game and break it down, it's which Bryce Young is going to show up. Of course, we can talk Rico Dowdle, we can talk Tetairoa McMillan, who wants to finish things off strong, get that offensive rookie of the year. But we've seen Bryce Young make strides, like it's like 5 steps forward, sometimes 2 steps back because of the decisions he's made. So I'm looking at him and saying to myself, this Buccaneers defense is beat up, and I think it might provide him some big play opportunities. We've seen quarterbacks be able to throw against Tampa Bay. We've kind of streamed quarterbacks who've gone against them during the year, I should say. So that's my big question mark with Bryce Young, the connection with Tetairoa McMillan, and really how that's going to look on Saturday.
Yeah, Bryce Young just faced them a couple weeks ago and had 191 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, and rushed for 20 yards. He's run for at least 20 yards in 4 straight games. You know there's just not going to be a pass-heavy game plan. Bryce Young has thrown more than 30 passes only 4 times this year, and most of them came early in the year. He opened the season with 35 pass attempts and 55. But most games it's below 30 or below. So it is a good matchup, as you alluded to here. Tampa
Yeah.
Bay is a mess right now. I just don't know how much you're trusting Bryce Young this week. Even with a lot of quarterbacks resting, I don't know if you want to go into that area. Now, he has been a QB1 twice in the last 6 games. So if there's any matchup, he can do it. But there's no way you trust him in this spot. I mean, you would be lucky to
No.
get – if you start him, you're like, oh, I'll take 200 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 20 rushing yards. But just they don't want him to throw. You could tell. So, yeah, you wouldn't be able to trust him. I mean, not
No.
everyone can get to a fantasy championship in a super flex league with Bryce Young as your second quarterback.
Bryce Young and who else? Tyler Shough and Shador
Tyler Shough,
Sanders.
Bryce Young, Shador Sanders, and then Malik Willis last week. And I
There we
was hoping
go.
for a stat correction. We had
Didn't
someone
get one.
–
Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, they
That
tweeted at
was
you too
brutal.
yesterday. You
Yeah,
were included on that.
that was
Yeah.
brutal.
Detroit Lions had a sack taken
Mhm.
away, and someone lost a championship. They had thought they
Yeah,
had
I
won.
felt so bad.
They made
That
the
was
change and
Adam,
lost.
other Adam.
Yeah. Apparently, a lot of Adams lost by less than 1 in the championship this
It's
past weekend.
brutal. That's brutal. I did see that tweet and I just said no, because I remember him saying like there's a first time for everything. And I thought there's no way we're getting someone with a stat correction that had, a point or less lead. And that's exactly, yeah, Lions that got taken away, which that just, I'd be sick.
Yeah. Oh, of
You wouldn't hear
course.
from me for a while, to be
Yeah, a
honest
lot
with
of the
you.
stat corrections are usually
Brutal.
individual defensive players. That's
Yeah.
usually like from full tackles to an assist or vice versa or half a sack. That's where most of the changes are. You see some on offense, but not that often. It's usually on the
No.
defensive side of the football.
Yeah, that was brutal. Sorry, other Adam, for the loss here. Just don't think about it. Go walk on the beach or something. I guess you can't do that right now, but depending on where you live,
Depending where you live, yeah.
maybe go walk on the beach. You
I mean,
can't
you
you can
can
if you're
walk
where
on the
Adam
beach on the
is,
East Coast, but it's not going to be fun.
but it's a little chilly. You can over here. Come over to California, and it's quite lovely. Actually, it's a little cold. It's like 65.
Oh, get out it. Don't use cold and 65 together. Are you insane?
Adam, I just want to I just want to rile you up, and it works every
Damn.
time. I know it's freezing. I had to bring a
Yeah.
jacket, heavy jacket,
Put on
the
the
last 2
heat.
days.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, heat's for sure on. You will not find me sitting in 20 degrees in my house like you. There's no chance. On the other side of this game though, with Baker Mayfield, I just you've said it before these last couple weeks. It looks like something is fundamentally wrong with this team, and it feels like something that's coming from the inside where just everyone is not on the same page. You could see in their body language on the sideline, everything else, but again, this team still does have a fighting chance to make the playoffs, which is insane in my mind. But I think to me, just the same way that we just talked about Bryce Young, it's Baker Mayfield. Like he has to be better in order for this team to look good. I know that some are going to be looking at Bucky Irving. I mean, he has given us a not great performance in the fantasy playoffs. So I know some people are a little out. They're saying there's no way. I mean, he hasn't reached 10 plus fantasy points since week 14, and in the fantasy playoffs he probably was the biggest dud, right? 8.1, 7.1, 8.3 fantasy points. That's against Atlanta, Carolina, and Miami. So I know there's other things involved in this, especially in the run game, but to me it comes down to Baker Mayfield and the type of play that we're going to see from him and the receivers as well.
Yeah, Baker has played very poorly for a long stretch now. Early in the season, people were talking about him in the MVP conversation.
Yeah.
We knew it would not last, but boy, has it fallen off in a major way. He did have statistically one of his better games last week, but that was a Miami team that is just done. He had 346 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, did rush for 16 yards, but I don't feel good about this team at all right now. He has not been a QB1 in a while in fantasy. Now, he does get a Carolina defense that over the last 5 games is getting the lowest pressure in the NFL. So if Baker has time, maybe that helps, but I don't trust him either with the way he's played and this offense. Now, with Bucky Irving, he's so tricky because you don't want to play him, but he's getting volume every single week. Now, the volume sucks because he's losing goal line carries to Sean Tucker, and he's losing some passing down work to Rashad White. Last week, he had 5 receptions out of nowhere, only for 14 yards. He also does not look like the same player, doesn't have that same burst since he returned. But look at his touches since he's come back. 19, 17, 17, 19, 14. If you tell anyone, hey, this is the volume for this running back, what are you doing? You're like, well, I got to start him, right? How many running backs are getting the volume he gets? But then you look at the way it's distributed and you're like, well, if he doesn't break a long run, which he's shown no ability to since he came back, and if the passing game status is if he's not going to be heavily involved, like, what am I doing? Why am I playing him? So he probably, I think when you see rankings and projections, he's going to be higher than you would think just because when you're penciling in 15 to 20 touches, it's going to spit him out as a top 12 running back. But if you are looking at your team and you're still alive, you're like, how am I going to play this guy?
I think you're at the point where, like you said, because of the volume, you might just have, I don't know if you have better options, right?
Well, this week too, because you have so many. Well, okay, so I think most people are going to have Bucky right around RB12. So then you probably look at running backs behind him, like DeAndre Swift and the Patriots running backs, Breece Hall, like Pollard. Like you're starting to get like Breece Hall for the Jets. It's like, and we don't even know if he's going to play. I think yesterday he sat again with a knee issue, and if I'm him, I wouldn't play. Contract year, like no risk.
Yeah, don't get hurt.
Don't get hurt. So that's the issue. As you start to go down the list, you're like, okay, well, this is a committee. These guys are splitting. You know, the Patriots backs with Henderson and Stevenson, but they're playing Miami, and they still have something to play for. You might play. Maybe you feel better about both over Bucky Irving right now.
Yeah, maybe. It's tough with Bucky because like you said, I mean, we got 2 16-point performances from him in his return, and then it's just been downhill.
Do you know why? He had touchdowns in those games. That's why.
Well, what a concept. I wish we could get back to that. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, no, it's too late for me.
Well, yeah, not for you. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about people playing this weekend. No, not for you. That's too late for us. We can't do that. What about the receivers on this side? And then we'll move on here because we did see. I mean, so Chris Godwin last week, 7 receptions, 108 yards, 23.8 fantasy points. We also saw McMillan get work as well. So he had 7 receptions, 114 yards, 18.4 fantasy points. Again, you said it statistically. This was one of Baker Mayfield's better games last week that we've seen. I know a lot of people have been looking up, asking, sending us questions about maybe Mike Evans and his props for the weekend as well. Everyone's off. I've got no questions about Emeka Egbuka,
Oh
so
no,
maybe
he's gone.
yeah. But just your expectations if someone is going to come out of this just of this group. I know the Panthers have allowed 6 receivers to score at least 13.2 PPR points in their past 5 games. Mike Evans, we know, plays very well against them. So expectations for those receivers at all? Do you like any props for them either?
I haven't played anything yet. Let's see what
Okay.
Evans. Oh, he's only 51. Well, anywhere from 51 and a half to 53 and a half, which seems
Okay.
low for him, but he has failed to deliver the last 2 games. He's had 31 yards in each of the last 2 games. Did
Yeah.
face Carolina. Again, they played a couple weeks ago. Evans had 5 for 31 and a touchdown. He's the guy that I feel best about here. And then maybe Godwin next. McMillan. They did say they want to get him more involved, and they did. He led them in
Oh
targets
yeah.
last week, but he still played about
That's good.
54% of the snaps. So I don't think you want to go there. So it would be Evans would be the one guy if I had to start someone, it would be him. Probably a good chance he can score. He scored in 2 straight weeks, and we know Baker's going to look for him in the red zone.
And probably, like I said, like jokingly and not, the only receiver you're probably looking to avoid really, Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah.
He's averaged 8.3 PPR points per game over the final 11 games, which is you shake your head because of what could have been with Emeka Egbuka from what we saw to start the season. And that's just one catch for 40 yards on 2 targets against Carolina week 16. So that's probably one that you want to stay away from. But nonetheless, still, when we have teams that are playing and fighting for something, you can look at these players to try and somewhat rely on. We're not saying trust 100%, but that is a game that you can turn to. I want to continue on talking about 49ers going up against the Seahawks and, of course, that Sunday night game as well. We're going to break those ones down here coming up next. I love this song. Sing it, Adam.
I don't know this
Okay.
song. From this show, I've heard it
Okay.
many times.
I know it's a good song. I'll send it to you. I think you'd like it. You can play it on your walks, just like when you play Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah. That's
Yeah.
definitely the first thing that
Sabrina
pop up.
Carpenter. Yeah, I know. I know. She was on your Spotify Wrapped for sure. You just won't show it to us. Or no, you do Apple Music, right?
No, yesterday I was playing the Uncle Murder Wrap Up 2025. You
Oh,
probably don't even know what that
nice.
is.
No, no clue. Send it to me though.
He
I
does
love
it every
listening
year.
to
He
new
does a
I
wrap
love
up
new
of the year
music.
in hip hop and
Oh, nice.
does it right around New Year's Day.
Oh, that's fun though. I listen. I love listening.
Makes
to new
fun of a
music,
lot of
so-
people though.
Oh, okay, maybe, maybe not.
You're not that mean person. You don't like
I
that.
just
You like
get, I know
you
I
like
get kind of
positive
sad.
things.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
kind of sad. I'm like, oh, that's kind of. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Kendall Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here on this Friday. Still a good song. I'm gonna send it to you after the show. We're breaking down all these Week 18 games, seeing, talking through the incentives as well. Players that you could potentially trust going into this weekend if you're still playing for a fantasy championship title. There, we're gonna break that down. So we just talked about Bucks, Panthers. Let's go through the 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks and see what our expectations are in this one. So the San Francisco 49ers have a chance to do something amazing because not only could they get this is for the 1 seed, no question about it. Once this game hits double zeros, it is completely over. The team that wins gets the 1 seed. And if the 49ers win that, Adam, they have a chance to stay home until the Super Bowl. I mean, I know people have been throwing that around, but I think that's pretty spectacular for them, and that could be a just a huge advantage for them if they're able to do it. But I wanted to start with maybe the Seahawks and just our expectations with them. This feels like a game where you can play everyone because we know that they're going to go all out 100% because both of these teams want the 1 seed. I think my question with the Seahawks, of course, we look at Kenneth Walker, we look at Zach Charbonnet, but it again starts with the quarterback play and Sam Darnold. Like what he's going to look like, how efficient he's going to be, and just to make sure that those turnovers don't happen. Because we saw 2 last week from Sam Darnold as well. And we know we saw the 2 against the Rams on Thursday night. So I'm looking at this and just saying to myself, they have lived kind of dangerously. 28 turnovers this season. Darnold has been responsible for 20 of them, which is not great. So we know that people talk about when the lights get really bright for Sam Darnold, he kind of crumbles under that pressure. I think he's actually stepped through that mentally. But we're going to figure it out. And this 49ers defense, Adam, is not necessarily the scariest, right? Of course, they can come out because they know that they have to get pressure on him in order to fluster him a little bit. But this team just hasn't really had a pass rush. They have not looked necessarily dominant in these last couple of months, I would say.
No, their defense is horrendous right now. They made Phillip Rivers look really good. So
Yeah.
it's a really good matchup for the Seahawks offense, but it all comes down to Sam Darnold, right? And, that last game against them, he had a lot of interceptions. No, the last big game, but then he did rebound. So, but that's always going to be the thing when you look at the Seahawks is like, what are you going to get from Darnold in these big spots? So he was able to get the win over the Rams, bounce back after a slow start. After the first start against the Rams, he threw 4 picks. So, he at least showed the ability to bounce back in game. So you like to see that. But that's really going to be the story here is what do they get out of Darnold? Is he going to be able to take advantage of this defense? And it looks like Charbonnet is the lead back again because 3 weeks in a row now, Charbonnet has played more snaps, and it comes down to in the red zone. It's always Charbonnet. Like Walker could have a long run getting them to the 8. All right, we got to bring in Charbonnet immediately. So he's the better start at this point.
Which is again, it's not really funny because the one thing with this team, Adam, and it's gotten better, I will say, as the years progressed and gone on. But I think the one part of this team, because we talked about the defense, how that just feels like a full healthy unit, not healthy, but a full good unit, right? We talk about some parts of special teams, and special teams has really stepped up, but it's been this run game. I just consistently, we have said if this run game was more steady, that it would just take a lot of pressure off Sam Darnold. And so if Zach Charbonnet is the one that they're going to ride with because of what we've seen from him in the past couple of weeks, and he's going to steady it a little bit, I'm okay with it. But it just makes me laugh because we just never really got one, RB1 out of this team the whole year, like we maybe thought we would. And that's with, look, Kenneth Walker stayed healthy the whole season, which is great, but it's been a 1A, 1B where this has just been awful for fantasy football purposes because you can't play either of them.
Yeah, I probably at this point, if you needed to start one, you probably could go Charbonnet. And against this defense, if you think there'll be opportunities to score, then it would be him. He's got, over the last 3 games, 10 red zone rushing attempts. So we know he's not going to do much in the passing game, but there's probably a strong chance he scores a touchdown this week.
Yeah, probably. Should we lock him in for 2? Because why not? He actually hasn't had an awful playoff either. 17.4, 26.2 last week. 3.1 week 15,
his
though.
Prop is anywhere from 40.5 to 44.5 rushing yards.
Really? I mean, it's been 31-32, and then he had the boom game against Carolina last week, 110.
You could get him plus 120 to score a touchdown on FanDuel. 2 touchdowns plus 900.
Lock it in. Come on, Adam.
What about 3? You want to really go crazy?
No. We have to stop somewhere. It's it too. What did you say his rushing yards prop was at in the 30s?
40.5 is the lowest that you can get on DraftKings 40.5, and then it's as high as 44.5 on Bet Rivers.
All right. Well, we know that he's probably, like you said, looking like the guy. Other side here, looks like Kittle is trending towards playing, so that's one big guy that they wanted to get back. And Brock Purdy's been staying hot, Adam. I mean, he's had 5 touchdowns in each of the past 2 games. I don't think that's something that he gets. Well, I hope, as a Seahawks fan, I'll say that. I hope he doesn't get that on Saturday against this Seahawks defense. But the Seahawks are the second best scoring defense in the NFL, 18.1 points per game allowed. Only 2 opponents have been able to top 24 points against them this season. But
Stafford was one just 2 weeks ago.
I know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
At least we won that game, so it's okay. I mean, he's looked good, though. CMC's going to do his thing, and if Kittle's back, that's obviously a huge weapon to get back with Juwan Jennings as well.
Yeah, this is the toughest matchup Purdy has had in weeks, but the way he's playing right now, and especially if Kittle is active, it's really difficult to sit him, depending on who, unless you have another elite quarterback. He's running too, so he's just playing at a high level right now. So yeah, this is another one where, if Kittle's in, you're going to play him, right? Because I know there's a lot on the line, but you cannot risk Kittle coming back too quickly and then missing a postseason game. So,
Exactly. But he
it
seems
looked,
like someone that's going to play if he feels good. Like he just
yeah.
seems like that, the tough player that just wants to be out there.
So yeah, if he's active, you'll play him. So yeah, this is a game,
Definitely.
especially on the San Francisco side. A lot of players. Jawan Jennings, you could look at as well.
Hmm.
Again, it is a tougher matchup, but this offense is just rolling right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
this should be a fun game tomorrow night.
Should be. I have lasagna for people. Just, I'll ship it to you. Not overnight it because we don't
Are
have
you
it like that,
surprised the
but
Seahawks are favorite on the road?
no.
No. Oh wow,
Here's the
another
thing, and this could
cocky Seattle fan.
yeah, no, you know me. I'm not usually like that. I just have a feel I don't have a horrible feeling, and I'm sure that we could clip this and that could come back to bite
Yeah,
me, but
that'll be the open on Monday. Get ready.
uh, yeah. And let's talk about incentives though. And for this game, Sam Darnold still needs 150 passing yards for 4,000, which gets him 4,000 passing yards, which gets him $500,000. We've got more guys though going for incentives and the incentive plays going into week 18. We're going to break those down here coming up next. This is Fantasy Life right here. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you on this Friday. What is that movie called, Adam? It's the zebra and the lion. It's animated. Oh
You
my
think I
gosh,
saw that?
this is going to bug. I know someone like that, and he tries to go to the wild Madagascar. Thank you, Madagascar. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, come on. What have you seen any good animated movie?
Probably not. No.
Oh my gosh, what about Emperor's New Groove?
No.
Oh, Adam, please. We need to reevaluate. There's so many good movies that you're missing out on. Emperor's
Okay.
New Groove is I think it's my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
All time.
All time.
Okay.
Not even kidding. It's so funny. Please. If we give you an off-season list, no, you won't do
Yeah,
it.
send
You
me the
won't.
list.
Yeah,
I
and then you'll
might
look
get
at the
to it.
list, you'll say, "No, I'm not going to watch this because it's animated." And you'll think it's well, it is kind of for children. But
I
fine,
might just
whatever.
send the list.
All right, fine. But Madagascar is hilarious. You were just talking about the subway in New York, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that reminds me of Madagascar. Anyway, what are we talking about? Incentives. week 18. I guess fantasy football is what we're talking about
Well,
here. So
we already know how this is
yeah,
going to go. It's going to
go
be the
ahead.
fourth quarter. Sam Donald's
Hmm.
going to be sitting at
Stop.
147 passing yards. He
What are you
drops back to
doing?
throw.
Oh,
Intercepted.
stop.
Game over. Niners
Boo.
win.
Why would you say that? Remember the last time the 1 seed was on the line, 2019? You remember that game in Seattle?
No, what happened? I forgot.
Yeah, no, you remember.
I don't.
Oh, Seahawks lost.
Oh.
That's what happened. I think you remembered that and wanted me to say it. He does need 150 passing yards to get to 4,000, and that gives him a $500,000 bonus. I will just say this because the incentive week 18 I think is fun because we do get to see Tony Pollard needs 66 rush yards to get a $250,000 bonus. But you've been saying it. We talked with Jonathan Von Tobel earlier this week. You just have to be careful when you're playing
It's
these
funny.
props.
You want to know what Pollard's prop is?
Oh, tell me, 68?
67 and a half
Yeah, there
on
it is.
DraftKings.
It's just
68 and a
know.
half on BetMGM.
You just have to know that they know. Rico Dowdle needs 7 scrimmage yards to reach 1350, and he gets $1 million actually for that one. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, his rushing yards prop is anywhere from 54 and a half to 56 and a half.
He was held to just 43 scrimmage yards though when they met week 16. So this is why we say you have to be careful if you're playing this angle this weekend. Well, because I do think it's fun, but you have to know that the books are very well aware of all of these incentives going on this weekend.
Yeah, it's all over now. So like there's always someone posting something about it. So it's not the way it was years ago. There's just no value to be had, and sometimes the lines are going to get driven up to insane levels and people just blindly bet it like, oh well, he's got to hit his incentive, so I'm taking the over. No, be careful.
Khalil Shakir needs 1 receiving touchdown against the Jets. Then he gets 150,000.
How much does Josh Allen even play?
If he
Like,
does, it's
to
just
me,
for a little bit, right?
they don't. I mean, they can move up, I believe, in seeding, but at this point, like, they need
Well,
Josh Allen
everyone's
healthy. They can't
yeah.
risk it. I mean, it seemed like the
Oh, for
foot was
sure.
bothering him last week.
Well, and I saw an update that we'll talk about in the water cooler too, but I think he missed practice, right? Yesterday,
Hmm.
he missed another
Yeah.
practice. The X-rays were negative, but the outlook for play on Sunday, they probably don't want to play him because he needs to be 100% healthy for their playoff push.
Yeah. Shakir only has
Um,
4 touchdowns on the year, too.
I know, but he gets 5. If he gets 5, he gets $150,000.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be in Josh Allen's ear about that.
Yeah,
Or
he's like, "Hey,
he's like, come
pass
on,
me the
just
ball."
play for the first drive, get me a touchdown, and then you could go sit.
Hunter Henry needs 5 receptions for $250,000. Patriots going up against the Dolphins.
Yeah, and they will play their starters because they can
Yeah.
still win the 1 seed. They need a Denver loss, which is going to be difficult to do.
I don't know, but with how they've been playing, no, I'm just kidding. They're gonna lock that one up.
The Chargers are resting
Chargers
everyone
aren't
against
playing
Denver.
anyone. Yeah. So it's fun. We've got an article live at fantasylife.com that you guys can go and check out to see all the incentives that players are going for this week. And we'll continue talking through it. But for now, we're going to go over to the water cooler. We're going to take any phone calls you have, some questions that I've seen coming through on X over there as well. Water cooler coming up next. You know what time it is. It is time for that fantasy life water cooler right here. Kendall, Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you on this Friday, making sure that you know all the news and notes going into week 18. We know that some of you are still fighting for those championships, so we are here for you at K Valenzuela 17 at Adam Ronis over there on X. I see a couple questions that have come in, so we'll definitely get to those. And if you want to, and you're free on the phone lines, 888-963-2682, or you can press that new call-in button on the Sirius XM app to get a hold of us. As always, Fantasy Life is there for you as well. FantasyLife.com. That's where all of our articles are, our projections, our rankings for week 18. The start sit tool is there for you. Just in case you can't call in, can't send us a message, just go over there and check all of that out because we want to make sure that you guys get those championships in week 18 as well. And you're making the best decisions with your betting as always. And so again, Ken Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here, going through just a little bit of the news here, Adam, that I saw over the last 24 hours. So Lamar Jackson, we hit on this off the top. It looks like Lamar Jackson will play. Again, must-win game going up against the Steelers that we're going to break down here in a little bit more in depth in a few minutes. And then Chris Olave is going to be out due to that blood clot. So if you've had Chris Olave, I know, Adam, you were saying that maybe you were going to look at his props. That's one that you just can't turn to anymore. Chris Olave is going to be out. Jordan Love did clear the concussion protocol, but the Packers are planning on sitting him until the playoffs. So again, Jordan Love did clear the concussion protocol, but we are going to get one more game without him. And it just looks like, in these games, that's why we have to be careful, Adam. Sometimes these guys are going to be healthy but not go. So it's why it's so important to look at just the news, any type of notes that you can, the injury reports, just to make sure you're 100% up to date. But yeah.
Yeah, Clayton Tune will get the start for Green Bay. They won't even go with Malik Willis. He's a little banged up too. So Jordan Love's going to have 3 weeks off before the playoff game. So you always wonder about the rust factor when that happens. But clearly they have nothing to play for, and they just rather take the cautious approach and make sure he is good to go for their first postseason game.
Yeah, and I think all the other players too, right? Josh Jacobs, Watson, Dobbs, Reed will either be inactive or play limited snaps and shouldn't really be near lineups. If Malik Willis was out there, we'd probably tell you that he was a good option, but since he's not, feels like an area best avoided. Let's just say that going up against the Minnesota Vikings.
Probably the best thing too, because you really don't want a quarterback going against Minnesota right now. They've allowed one passing touchdown in their last 7 games.
Wow. They and they were good like all season too. They have allowed the fewest fantasy points to receivers, second fewest to the perimeter this season as well. And yeah, third what wow, you can just keep going. Third fewest catches, fifth fewest touchdowns. That's nuts. I think in this game, is there anyone though that you're willing to play? Is it Justin Jefferson? Is it looking at a Justin Jefferson prop? Or
Oh,
are you really
it
just
is
staying away?
Jefferson
Okay.
because they have talked about getting him to 1,000 yards. So
Okay.
I think he needs like 50, yeah, 53
That's
he
doable.
needs to get. Let's see what his prop is because I
Yeah, what's he
I
at?
want to play that, but now it feels like a sucker bet. Let's
Now
see.
you're like, it's a trap.
Oh, I
don't
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 see
do
any
it.
lines for him yet.
Oh,
Nah, is this right?
did they pull him?
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything here. I guess I gotta go to a book and
It's
check.
because they're listening right now.
Yeah, they're going to
That's what
increase
it
it to like
is. Yeah.
60 or 70s to make it unplayable.
Yeah, 53 yards shy of hitting 1,000. That's the sixth time in his first 6 seasons, so they're probably going to push for him to get
Oh,
that.
they are. I think you'll actually get it. And there's a chance, yeah, there's no props for this game
Wow. Okay.
on either side.
Maybe they're waiting for confirmation.
Yeah, they're waiting. The
Yeah.
total's 35 and a half.
Okay. Yuck. That's fine. I
But I
mean,
think they did speak about it. There were some comments that they wanted to get Jefferson to 1,000. So that sucks because now the books are going to inflate that number.
yeah, they're gonna know. I mean, here's the thing: Justin Jefferson deserves some kind of happiness this year, and if it's getting to 1,000 yards for the sixth time in 6 seasons, let's do that because wow, was that awful. I mean, we talked about some of these first round picks in fantasy and just how bad it was this season. If you really were on it, like Malik Neighbors was brutal. BTJ, if he did slide into the first round for you, was awful. And Justin Jefferson, while he stayed healthy, JJ McCarthy was obviously not the one that you wanted. I know Jefferson came out and had a quote that said, "I would love to show everyone he's the number one guy for JJ McCarthy," but I think no matter what, Adam, even if he gets to 1,000 receiving yards, again, for the sixth time in 6 seasons, you're looking at Justin Jefferson as someone that feels like his value is going to fall next season because it just feels they have to continue with JJ McCarthy, right? They put their eggs in that basket. They have to give him a full season to see what it looks like. He's been banged up this year as well, but you haven't seen a 20-point outing all season from Justin Jefferson in the fantasy point department. That's awful.
Yeah, see, I think Jefferson was the worst of
Oh,
those
no, sorry.
picks.
Week 4, 22 fantasy points.
Jefferson was the worst of those picks because you were playing him every week until maybe late in the year when you finally said, I can't do this anymore. Neighbors, he gets hurt, you move on. Nothing you can do. Even Thomas, to a certain extent, you were playing him a lot early. Then he got hurt. You might have not played him after he came back. But with Jefferson, you were pretty much every week. I mean, it wasn't until like late in the season where you're like, all right, finally, that's it. I give up.
Yeah.
So you were putting him in every week, and we understand why. I mean, I think I didn't have him this year, so I can't speak from experience. I probably would have done the same, but we kept looking at it. I remember we were like, all right, it's the Commanders. This is the week.
Has to
Great
do
matchup.
it.
Then he has 2 catches for 11 yards. You go, all right, well, it's the Cowboys. He's got to do it against the Cowboys, right? 2 for 22.
Yeah.
And then you probably said, all right, I can't do this anymore. But you said, wait, he's got another good matchup against the Giants. And then he goes 6 for 85 and then back for 4 for 30 last week. So, yeah, 2 touchdowns on the season for Justin Jefferson is absolutely insane. So, yeah.
Because sometimes you look at these guys and say, well, he's quarterback proof, right? Like he has to be. It's Justin Jefferson. And it didn't happen.
Well, he was until J.J. McCarthy appeared because he still had solid games with Wentz. Like, he actually had his best games of the year with Carson Wentz. Those 2 100-yard games, I think, were both with Wentz. Right? The week 4 and week 5. Those were
for sure.
where he went over 120 yards. I think.
And 19.3 fantasy points.
Yeah, those were Carson Wentz games.
Mm-hmm. And then it got bad. Week 10 on, you could not play him. Truly. You were looking at 7 fantasy points, 11,
but
8,
people did, though.
Like, you had, well, yeah, because you look around and say, what better option do I have? Just like how we talk about rankings all the time. Like, at some point, I have to stop the fall when I do my rankings, and I can't put, like, some of these guys ahead of him. I just couldn't do it. Like Marvin Harrison Jr., I usually couldn't do it because I just knew that maybe there was more upside with Justin Jefferson. Yeah, it was brutal, though. Let's see him get 1,000 yards. I think that that probably won't make up for anything.
It won't. I mean, for him, it'll make him feel better. For fantasy players, like, yeah, who cares? It didn't do anything.
Brutal. Again, happy Friday, everyone. We're going to continue on in this water cooler, going through news and notes you need to know, and of course, going through your questions as well, and then continuing on to go hard or go home, Adam, because some players we can look at and say maybe they'll go hard for our fantasy teams, and some maybe they won't, but we're going to figure that out here. Again, fantasylife.com is where you can go to check out that newsletter, 100% free in your inbox 7 days a week. And also all of our projections are there, our rankings for week 18. We are here for you, the start sit tool as well. So just finishing off that conversation with Josh Allen, it just looks like he's not going to go because he did miss another practice with the foot injury. So he was out Wednesday and Thursday. Feels like they're locked in, Adam, right to the 6th seed. I think unless crazy, like weird things happen. And they're playing, they're not playing a good team. So they're playing the Jets. So maybe it makes sense to give Allen some time off.
Yeah, I guess at this point, seeding doesn't matter to them. it doesn't matter for the Chargers either. Or 11-5. Bills sitting there at 11-5. Texans 11-5, but they're still hoping to win a division. They would need a Jacksonville loss though for that to occur.
Okay.
Probably not going to happen against Tennessee, but yeah, Buffalo. I mean, could wind up being the 7, the 6. So I think at this point, it's all about getting Allen healthy.
Yeah, and that's because he took that injury. It was week 16 against the
Hmm.
Browns, right? It was the long yeah, there was just the long play that was kind of dumb. But he did not look right since then. And so probably to see him be able to rest a little bit. It looked like he also aggravated it against the Eagles too. So I know that he said it had zero impact on him, but at the end of the day, you know that that's probably not necessarily 100% true. So when we're looking at this Bills game again, the Jets, I don't know if you're starting anyone on that side, Adam. We can just say that. I've told you some other ones like Khalil Shakir. Maybe that's someone you go to because of the contract stuff. But again, I don't know if you, I don't know if you want to risk it. He needs one receiving touchdown to reach $150,000 for his 2026 salary because that would take him to 5 receiving touchdowns. Maybe James Cook, but I don't even think James Cook plays the whole time, right? Because they're really locked into that seating.
Yeah, and this is one you're going to have to keep an eye on because you might not see anyone go for them. So I think the only thing I would say with James Cook is if they care about rushing titles, he is the leader right now,
Oh, okay.
but he has 1606. Jonathan Taylor has 1559. Derrick Henry has 1469. So he would have to hold off, I guess, Jonathan Taylor. So maybe they put him in there enough to get, 50, 60 yards. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes people care about these milestones, other times they don't. We saw last year, right? Philly didn't care with Saquon Barkley. They said
Yeah,
it's
that
about the
was
playoffs.
brutal.
So, Buffalo might feel the same.
Yeah, and that's why like the other part of this is that they're playing the Jets. So it sucks because this Jets defense is so bad that you almost wish you had a little bit more clarity and we're going to get some today here, but like I don't hate Ray Davis and that play, but it's just we have to wait because to me I'm looking at James Cook and saying, I don't think he's going to play the majority of this game because why would he? And against this Jets defense, they've allowed 8 running backs to score at least 13.5 PPR points in the past 7 games. So Ray Davis could be the guy that maybe steps up for me. I was looking at him. But again, you have to make sure we'll have to see what Buffalo decides with James Cook. That's the one thing. It's patience this week. And I know that stinks when you're trying to set your lineups and figure it out, especially when we have 2 games tomorrow. But it's just one where you're just going to have to wait and see. But I don't hate the Ray Davis angle on this game.
Yeah, the good thing is you had no Thursday game, and then the
Hmm.
2 games tomorrow anyway. Both teams are playing for something, so you
Yeah.
could use it as a tiebreaker. And yeah, you're just gonna have to wait it out. And there's a lot of games on Sunday, a lot of late afternoon games too. But
Yeah.
we probably will get this Allen and Cook
I
news.
think
We might get it
today.
today. I think
Yeah.
we might get it today.
I agree. So again, just wait and see. Make sure to keep up with those injury reports. Our newsletter will have all the information that you need as well, so you can sign up for that. I do see a question here from Jesse saying, "I have Bucky starting in my lineup this week for the championship, but I picked up Audric Estime and Tank Bigsby. Would you start either one of those two ahead of Bucky Irving? So Estime and Tank Bigsby.
Probably not. I would take the chance with Bucky. Hope he can find the end zone. He's going to get 15 touches in the game.
Yeah, it's just what he does with them, right?
Hmm.
It's just the Audric Estimate. I don't hate as a play this weekend, but not when you compare him to Bucky Irving because I think he's another player that maybe gives you a safe enough floor in the flex though. I'm looking at flex plays specifically, or if you're looking at DFS, I think that his numbers could be interesting. He played 76% of the offensive snaps last week, and I still think he looked effective. Like last week was the whole situation with Taysom Hill. Is he going to come back and really have a big role? And it did not happen. So it really did feel like the one 2 weeks ago was just a goodbye in New Orleans, right? Their last home game where he was able to just have a big week. But I don't hate Audric Estime in the flex in this matchup. But anyone going ahead of Bucky Irving, I don't have him there in my ranks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
no, I
They have a
agree.
lot to play for, and you're hoping that he finds the end zone, outside the 10 or the 15 if he can break a run.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, so the Bills are seeking snow shovelers. Did you see that?
I did see that.
For
Yeah,
their
they
final
tend to do
regular
that.
season game?
They
Yeah.
tend to do that
I
whenever they
mean,
get.
so would you do that if you were ever in a situation where it's your team and they asked you to come shovel snow? Would you say, "Heck yeah, that seems like a cool experience"? No?
Probably not. I don't think the pay is enough. What
It's
is it?
20. Okay, so the team is offering $20 per hour, hot food and beverages, and for the first what is it? Oh, for the first 500 people, free Highmark Stadium branded gloves. No? That's not enough
Mm,
for you?
no.
Oh, come on. And then you get to be in the stadium. Full of snow.
Yeah, but you don't
Cold.
get to be at the game.
No, you don't. But
Yeah.
maybe you could buy tickets. I don't know.
Nah, I'm gonna
No,
pass
not
on
for
that.
you. All
I'm
right.
gonna
All right.
pass.
All right.
You'll
I
do it?
think no. Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
See,
I was cold. I just told you at the zoo I had to buy a jacket because I was freezing. No.
5 minutes in, you'd be like, all right, I'm done.
I'd be
Just give
like,
me
thank
my
you. So
hot
I don't
chocolate
even
and I'm
have.
leaving.
Ooh, hot chocolate sounds good though. I don't even have the clothing. I'm not even equipped to go out there. You have to have snow boots and like the snow pants. No way. Do you have to bring your own shovel? Do you think, or do
That's a
they
good
have the
question. They
shovels?
should supply it.
Wait, now I really want to know. If anyone's gone out there, tell us if you have to bring your own shovel. They probably supply them,
Do
right?
they supply the tables when
Oh,
you
you think they're
finish and
like
you
jumping
jump
off
through them?
tables? Gosh,
Yeah.
see, that would be so fun. And then you could be done and go out and just go out into the parking lot. You
Yeah,
know
and
what I
have a
mean?
bad back for a while.
What are you talking about back?
From
Come
shoveling and then
on.
going
Oh,
through the tables.
jeez. You're fine. Everything's fine. You just
Okay,
gotta
yeah. Says the
shovel all
person
the
who
seats.
gets cold in 65-degree weather. It's all fine.
I didn't say I wasn't gonna be cold. I just said we could do it. 20 per hour, hot food and beverages. Probably a hot dog, right? Oh, hot chocolate sounds amazing.
If it's a hot dog, that's a disgrace.
What do you think they're serving them?
I don't know, but
Steak?
come on.
You
I know
know,
it's
come
not
on.
steak.
But you know it's gonna be a hot dog. It has to be something easy.
Well, I guess for you then,
Oh, I
it
would
would
for sure
be
go.
$40 hot
100%.
dog. So you would be like,
Okay,
oh,
all
it's
right.
worth it.
Well, it'd be my $20 per hour. I'd just
Yeah.
give back to them. I'd say, here, this is for the hot dog. I don't know. It sounds fun. Someone let us know if you're going though, because I want to, and let us know if you have to bring you don't have to bring your own shovel. There's no way. Well, maybe there's always a way. Continuing on here. I don't think there was any more, when I was looking at just, injuries and stuff. We talked about George Kittle. It looks like he said he is quote, absolutely playing on Saturday going up against the Seahawks. So that was the only one, that I've been looking for here. And, Phillip Rivers, we're done with Phillip Rivers. Did you see that? He's retiring again. He's going to coach his son's high school team. So
My
we're done
big
with Phillip.
question though, so he still gets that health coverage for his family for
For
5 years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
then it was worth it.
Oh, I think so too. Because I think
Good
that
for
was
him.
running. I think that was running out, right?
Well, he was,
Was that the report?
and now he has to wait another 5 years to
5
go
years
into the
for
Hall of Fame.
which I think he was okay with. But then you
Yeah.
get health coverage.
When you have all those kids, 5 years is nothing. It flies by.
What? How many does he have?
Like 10 or 11?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
I
didn't.
knew that.
You
No, I
knew
knew
that.
it was
Come
up
on.
there. I didn't know it was 10 or 11, I guess. I
Yeah.
thought we were sitting at 8. Yeah,
No.
but now he gets health coverage. So there you go. And he got to come back into the NFL. There you go.
Good for him, man.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Sure.
he has 10 kids.
Wow. Okay. That's, yeah.
And triplets are on the way.
No, they're not. You're lying. Okay,
I'm
stop. Because I would believe you. Stop. Don't say that. Oh my gosh. I just got You're horrible. So we're done with Phillip Rivers. A fun story. The last one here in the water cooler again. Before we continue on going through go hard or go home, I will just say it's Tetairoa, McMillan, Tyler Shough as the top 2 offensive rookie of the year candidates, right? And I think it's just going to be a toss up of what we get from Tetairoa and McMillan on Saturday. It's an island game, so we know all eyes are going to be on him. We already broke down this game a little bit, talking about what kind of Bryce Young we're going to get. Obviously, it starts with him, but you said a couple days ago that Tetairoa and McMillan was the favorite, right? He's still the favorite?
Yeah, I'm checking now to see if it's
Okay.
changed. Yeah, so on DraftKings, McMillan is minus 140. Tyler Shough is
Okay.
plus 140. So yeah, it's going to
Yeah.
come down to, like, if McMillan has a bad game tomorrow, then you're going to see Shough probably shift to the favorite. And then if he has a good game on Sunday, he wins the award. Now, it is going to be a little difficult for him with no Chris Olave. Like,
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Devon Bailey is out on IR, so they
Mhm.
are very thin at receiver. So
It's a big Juwan Johnson game.
yes, that is for sure.
Yeah, I don't hate Juwan Johnson as a potential flex play either. But that's, I mean, yeah, you're just gonna have to. And I think they haven't given up. Like I said, that they've put together a good December. I don't think they're taking their foot off the gas now, even though obviously they're not playing for anything. But Shucks won 4 in a row, and two of his five wins, which again, a franchise record for a rookie quarterback, have come against the Panthers. So it's kind of interesting, but. Who do you think wins? You think it's Tet? If you had to guess, do you think it's
Um,
Tetairoa McMillan?
He did.
What a weak rookie class too, by the way, that this is where we're at for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I mean, McMillan did have 6 for 73 with a touchdown against the Bucks 2 weeks ago. So it all depends on Bryce Young getting the ball. We know how good he is. I will say that Shough wins it.
Ooh, okay. I
Yeah.
like that. I think, listen, I understand it. People are saying like, oh, he didn't get his first start until week 9. It shouldn't even be a conversation, but he's looked good while he's been doing it. And for fantasy football purposes, he's still been someone that if you were streaming him the last 5 weeks of the season, like he was giving you at minimum 17 fantasy points. So you'll take that every single time when we're looking at streamers. So that's just another layer to add to your watching, to your enjoyment on Saturday to watch that game, to see what Tetairoa and McMillan looks like. All right, we're going to continue on here, Adam. I do want to talk through just some of the go hard or go home potentials here for week 18, because we've been talking a little bit about props. We've been talking a little bit about players that you could maybe trust in your lineups. I know some people are sending in messages saying, hey, I've got week 18 championships on the line. So I want to ask you here, go hard or go home, again, presented by Mike's Hard Lemonade. Caleb Williams. Do you think Caleb Williams goes hard this week, or does he go home? Again, he's sitting at close to 4,000 yards, right? He is close to getting that, but I'm curious if Ben Johnson and them like let him try and go out and get that, or if at some point in this game they just start to rest their starters. That's the one thing I'm looking at here in this one.
Yeah, I would say go hard. They're
Okay.
playing well. Ben Johnson, too, against this forward team. I think Detroit's going to be motivated for that, too, to show, hey, we didn't make
Yeah.
a mistake, and they want to finish strong with the way they've played. Bears can be the 2 seed with the win. So they look like they're going to put their starters out, while Philadelphia, also in competition for the 2 seed, they're resting their starters. So Chicago wins more than likely. Well, no, they lock up the 2 seed with a win, so they have control. The Lions have said they're going to play their starters too. Be careful with the players that are injured. So maybe Amon-Ra St. Brown dealing with a little bit of a knee issue. Maybe he's out. But yeah, if they're going to keep Caleb out there for most of the game, then yeah, I think he can go hard. And coming off one of his better games of the season.
Yeah.
So again, the risk with it is they can say that, and then they open a lead, or Caleb takes a sack, gets hit, and they're like, you know what? We don't want to risk this anymore. So yeah, let's pull our starters, especially if they have a lead. So that's the only risky part with any of these Bears players.
At least in the matchup, right? Again, going up against the Lions, they're number 10 in most fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterbacks. And 3 quarterbacks in the last 6 games we've seen put up really, really good numbers. They passed for at least 366 yards. And like you said, he had a good game last week, put up it was so long ago, so you don't usually go back to week 2, but that's the last time these two teams met. He put up 20.9 fantasy points. So they do have a lot riding on this. Yeah, I like your point about, them getting into a lead, but I think he goes hard as well. Go hard or go home, Kenneth Gainwell for this one, because Kenneth Gainwell was probably one of the most disappointing fantasy players in week 17. If you have Kenneth Gainwell going into week 18, it's an interesting conversation because, again, going up at Cleveland was not good, especially with DK Metcalf suspended. I thought he would get a little bit more, but he's struggled. 7 carries, 26 yards. 3 catches for 12 yards on 4 targets. And so it snapped a good streak of him scoring at least 16.2 fantasy points. What do you think? Go hard or go home for Kenneth Gainwell?
I will say go hard, and hopefully Pittsburgh looks at what they did last week and go, what the hell were we doing? Because they should have been running the ball more. If you're going to pass, we've seen how good Gainwell is. How do you go to Valdez-Scantling on the final drive as many times as you did? How does he get 9 targets? How does Scotty Miller get 7? And Gainwell gets 4 after what he's done?
Our fantasy teams.
So, yeah, they have to make that change. We know DK Metcalf suspended for this game as well. So you've got to get the ball in the hands of Warren and Gainwell, and specifically Gainwell in the passing game with as good as he's been. It's only fitting that people were trusting Gainwell with the most confidence last week, and of course that's when he has one of his worst games that we've seen in recent weeks.
Naturally, because we can't have nice things, Adam. That's why. I would have loved for him to have anything else that than what he gave us last week. I do think a rebound is in store for him week 18 going up against Baltimore again. I just can't expect him to have the same workload. We look at week 14. I know again things are going to change there, but he had 4 carries for 15 yards and a touchdown, 6 catches for 27 yards on 7 targets, and that was week 14 against the Ravens. So I'm looking at this game. Obviously, these two teams have a lot to play for in this one. I think he's a solid RB2 when we're looking at the rankings for Week 18 and someone that you can potentially trust. All right, pivoting now. Go hard or go home. Michael Mayer. I don't know if people are going to be using Michael Mayer like in fantasy lineups, but if we're looking at maybe the DFS streets, what do you think here? Because again, the Raiders don't want to win anything. We know Brock Bowers is not playing in this one because he was put on IR, but does that give Michael Mayer a potential to maybe go hard for your team or no?
Yeah, I think he can. I mean, Kansas City not playing for anything either. Mayer, we saw last week, get a ton of targets in the game. So if you need a tight end to stream, yeah, now they are going to split the quarterback. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing. O'Connell and Pickett. So you don't like seeing that. But Mayer last week had a 33% target share, 89 receiving yards. Um, I think he could get the targets, but the matchup is tough. Kansas City's good against tight
Mhm.
ends and the quarterback. So, man, yeah, I'd probably say borderline tight end one, maybe to high tight end two, just because of the quarterback situation. But I like the talent, I like the
For
player,
sure.
but yeah, the quarterback situation this week. So I'll say go home.
I will say the Chiefs at least have allowed two tight ends in their past 3 games to score at least 10.1 PPR points. So you look at this and maybe you say, oh, they might give up in this one a little bit. I don't know. But I do think Mayer has like top 12. It doesn't take much to become a top 10
Yeah,
tight end in fantasy scoring for week to week. So I do
you know,
think he has maybe top 10 upside there.
looking at the tight end landscape, yeah, I think you would have to put him in the top 12.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I
think you would
think you
have to.
do. Just because he's played 3 games without Bowers this season as well. And when you look back at that, he's scored at least 16 points in 2 of those. So two out of 3. When we see that again, not necessarily groundbreaking numbers, but it's one where just because of everything else going on with the tight ends, I do think you have to have him inside the top 10. All right, last one here for go hard or go home. Jaden Higgins. So we've talked about the Texans. We've talked about, of course, Nico Collins is one. But when I look at this game, I'm curious if you think anyone else is going to step up for this Houston Texans team. We've talked about their defense and how great they are. They're at home again. This is the morning in the morning slate or the first slate of the afternoon games there on Sunday, going up against the Colts. So Texans are at home in this one. I just look at Jaden Higgins though, week 13 at Indianapolis, 5 catches, 65 yards, 5 targets. And I don't know if you think that they might lean on him a little bit in this one. What do you think? Go hard or go home?
Uh, Look, he had the good start last week. Um, I just worry about the playing time, and especially if they jump out to a lead too,
Yeah.
they could pull their starters. Now he had 2 for 88 last week and a touchdown. He had that 75-yard touchdown early, and then disappeared. He's got 4 receptions over the last 4 games, so I'm gonna say go home.
Okay. You think anyone's going to go hard for the Texans this week or no? They need to get that offense right before they get to the playoffs. I don't think they're going to do it this week because they don't necessarily want to risk any type of injury, but we've talked about how good the defense is. On the other side though, they do have to CJ Stroud and co have to get going. No
Yeah,
questions.
it's the defense is so good, and that's why a lot of people might think the Texans can make a run in the AFC. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you're like, can this offense do enough to take them to that next level? And right now, it doesn't look like it can.
I hope it would be fun to see them. I will say I saw these
It
stats.
would? You think it
I think
would?
I kind of like them. Yeah. Some people don't want to see them. I do like this team as a whole. I think they would be fun, especially that defense.
The
I feel like
defense,
they
yeah. I
could
mean,
wreak
if you like
havoc.
good defensive football, they are a fun defense to watch because
Yeah.
they
And
just really punish teams.
I mean, it's just my thing. So they've only averaged, so this was weeks 1 to 9. They've averaged 1.82 points per drive. And then from weeks 10 to 15, they increased their points per drive to 2.22. So I think we've seen them run the ball more efficiently, right? I think Woody Marks is in the conversation there. And then also, like, the offensive line has gotten a little bit better, or at least gelled and gotten better chemistry. So that's the only thing I'm looking at here. I agree with you. I don't think you can go hard for Jaden Higgins, but I do think when we're talking about sleeper teams, I do think that they would be fun for a deep run. I don't think they could go all the way, but
Isn't
I think
like
their
every
defense is
team in the
fun to
AFC a
watch. Well,
sleeper
that's true.
outside of the top 2
That's why
seeds?
it's so fun. If they
No,
get going, I
it
think it could
does
be
make it
fun.
interesting this year.
Yeah, I can't. Do you remember a time where we were talking about teams like this?
No.
I don't want to say random teams because they're not random, right? They've done enough to get where they are, but it just feels it's not the usual teams that we see. Obviously, it's not the Chiefs aren't in there, and we just have huge question marks about, maybe the Bills. So I think it's fun. It's a good time.
Watch the 2 1 seeds make the Super
Would
Bowl.
you stop? Well, if it's the Seahawks, then I'll be okay with it. How's that?
Well, it's possible they can be.
Oh my gosh, I can't think about that. Oh, I got to make a lasagna. You want the recipe? No, you're not going to cook it. What am I saying?
I'll give it to someone. I won't
No, I don't think you
do
can
it
give it to them.
myself. I mean,
Why?
you really think
Double
I'm going to do
lucky, double lucky lasagna. You won't do that?
that?
Fine. All right.
No.
No,
I don't have the time to cook.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
I don't think I'll be
annoying.
good at it.
Oh, right. You're going to be fine. This is
Yeah.
the same guy that said he loves broccoli. Then someone asked him, what's your favorite way to cook broccoli? You said, I don't know.
Well, I don't cook it.
I know, exactly. That was the funny part. Oh my gosh. We're going to continue on. We're going to keep answering your questions if you have any at Valenzuela17, at Adam Ronis over there on X. We're going to continue with maybe some of the biggest fantasy lessons that we saw this year, and also want to continue breaking down the other matchups for week 18. We've gone through the island games. Now it's time to go through some of the others. We're going to do that here coming up next. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to have Xfinity. All the games all in one place. And here's what you get when you watch sports with Xfinity. You get that sports zone. So that's every pro football game and over 1,000 college games, highlights and alerts all in one place. You get that multi-view. So that means you can be in up to 4 stadiums at once. The Xfinity fan view is also giving you live scores, odds, and stats all in one place and personalized to you. You get enhanced 4K and that voice remote where you can just say football. Imagine all your football all in one place. Easy. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. You are listening to Fantasy Life right here. Kendall Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you on this Friday. Vibes are immaculate, and it's not time to leave work. I don't know. Do people? No, I'm not even going to ask you this because I'm going to set you up for a funny. No, I'm not doing it.
I'm surprised you're here today.
Like,
what happened?
Would you stop? Get out of here. Is this what you do to Ani all the time, producer Ani? Now I feel what he feels.
What did I do? I'm stating facts.
I was really gonna set you up for just softball of a joke, but I'm not going to now. So we're here with you today.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't take a 5-day weekend.
Jeez, here we go. Just spending time with my family. Adam's like not serious people, as Succession would say.
Our listeners are our family. Faith is our family. Ani is our family. Like, come on. Brian, this is our family. Let's go.
I've never heard you say that ever, but that was incredible, and I do need that clip, so that's fantastic. But we are here with you today, no matter if we took a couple days off, and we're here to answer any and all.
I didn't take any days off. Come on.
That's true. One person did me.
Yeah.
I had to get the lasagna stuff,
Okay.
The store was a zoo. Took all day.
I'm sure it was,
kidding.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
And we know you stay up late, so.
I did stay up for New Year's, though. That was crazy. I'll never do that again.
12:02 a.m., right?
12:05. Because it took, like
okay.
a minute to get up the stairs, get ready for bed. Yeah, I was asleep by 12:05. Yeah. This was an average day for you, too. That's the crazy part. You're like, midnight. I do this all the time.
Oh, yeah. Midnight is not
you
even.
didn't care.
Yeah.
You were like ready to go.
The earliest is like 1:30 a.m. on a given night. That might be the earliest. And that's when I'm not feeling 100%.
God, that's awful. Again, we need to figure that out in the off season. But again, we're going through all the week 18 matchups, going through maybe guys that you can trust heading into week 18. We know some of you still have your matchups, your championships on the line. You did say though that you saw Josh Allen was back in practice today. They said he will be playing. Which is
Sean
surprising to me.
McDermott went on radio and said that Josh Allen will practice today and be good to go versus the Jets.
I don't love it, but it is the Jets, so maybe maybe that's
they'll
why.
probably pull them early. They'll jump out to a big lead and then pull them, but that still might be enough for them to produce. Again, I didn't see anything on the other starters. Cook, as we mentioned, leads the NFL in rushing yards. So, hey, against the Jets, he might be able to get 80 yards on 2 carries and then have a comfortable lead.
It won't take much.
Yeah, so oh yeah, but wait, that's right. So they're oh, so they'll know because Jonathan Taylor plays at 1, the Bills are 4. So they'll know exactly how many
Hmm.
yards Cook needs. So that
Yeah,
is a
that's a
possibility
good
that
call
they
out.
just give Cook enough. They say, oh, okay, he needs, 100 yards to top Taylor. All right, we'll give him a chance.
I think the one thing about the Bills too in the playoffs, when we're looking at what teams need to do to like just get a little bit better for that run, their run defense has been awful. By the way, on that on that other side, you're gonna have issues if you can't stop the run in the playoffs. Depending on well, not even depending on what teams you face, you need to be able to do that. And they just haven't we saw it a little bit against the Eagles, right? They had one of their best games defending the run. And it just hasn't been good this season though. That's the other thing on the Bills on the other side. We always talk about the offense, but they need to get a little bit more. I know they don't have too much talent on that defense, but they need to do a little bit more.
Yeah, there's a good chance Buffalo faces Jacksonville in the first round. Like,
Okay.
so assuming the Bills win and the Texans win and the Chargers lose, that would put the Bills as the 6th seed. And then if Jacksonville wins, Bills Jacksonville first round. That would be
That would
intriguing.
be a fun one.
Yeah.
That will be. I'm Jacksonville, I think they're the trendy team to pick right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So it
think,
makes me a little bit nervous about it because I think everyone's on them. But from what we've seen from their offense the last couple of months, especially with Trevor Lawrence really turning it on, you can see why they would be, the trendy pick. But ETN in that matchup would be interesting, and then just what it would look like with one Parker Washington and everyone else. Brian Thomas Jr., Jacoby Myers, of course.
yeah, Parker Washington the last 2 weeks has been
He's
unbelievable.
been phenomenal. He's again another flex play that I think this weekend is definitely a viable option when we're looking at teams that will still continue to play. So I don't know. I think that's another option for you if you are looking at Jacksonville because that's
Yeah.
against Tennessee, Jacksonville at home.
Yeah. And Tennessee's weakness is against the pass. And Jacksonville needs to win to clinch the division.
Should we look to Tony Pollard this week? Are you ready to go back to Tony Pollard? He needs 66 rushing yards for a $250,000 bonus for because that would get him to shockingly. If you just asked anyone about Tony Pollard this year, they'd say, "Oh yeah, he hasn't done anything." That would get him to 1,100 rushing yards on the year.
Does not feel that way at
It's
all. I think if you
crazy.
asked most people, they wouldn't even say 1,000.
No, I'd say in the 800s
You
maybe.
talk about just slowly accumulating and piling up yards. That is Tony Pollard because it's really the last few weeks though that he's
Yeah.
really, started to turn it up. When teams with Pollard were like in 10th place anyway, so they didn't even reap these rewards. I know there's like 3 people out there raising their hands like I had Pollard that made it to the championship. Cool. Good for you. But yeah, they're probably going to feed him the football to try and get it, I would think. I mean, look at the carries he's had lately,
Probably.
25, 14, 21, 18. So they're
What
going to
else do
try
they
and
have
do it
to
early.
lose? And
Hmm.
Chigakonkwo, for what it's worth, has not had a bad stretch either. Like if we're really talking, I don't know if this probably goes more into a DFS conversation or maybe just anywhere else, but Chigakonkwo is one where I also think if you're in a desperate situation, like you can turn to him as well. But I do think I agree with you on Tony Pollard that they're at least going to give him the chance. I will say the only running backs that have had 66 or more rushing yards in a game against the Jaguars this season has been Jonathan Taylor twice. Weeks 14 and 17, that's it.
Yeah, Cam Ward, too, has multiple touchdown passes
Yeah,
in 4 straight games.
he's finishing out the year strong. So that could be, yeah, I don't know, that could be someone you look to. Again, not the sexiest game, not the most fun game, but it could be one that you look at. I do want to continue going through our favorite flex plays going and breaking down some of these other week 18 games. We're going to do that here coming up next. Oh, it is Friday. The vibes are immaculate. Kendall Valenzuela, Adam Ronis with you right here, getting you ready for week 18 and the final week of the regular season before we kick off the playoffs, which is so exciting, Adam. It was a very quick season yet again, but there are still some plays that you can make this weekend. We've kind of talked through, all the incentive plays, right, and just how you need to be a little bit cautious because we just don't know what that's going to look like the whole way through. But if we're looking at flex plays, right, some players that we say, okay, it feels like they have something to play for. Maybe they're going to put up good numbers. I know we mentioned Chris Godwin before, but is Chris Godwin on that list for you of someone that maybe if you need a desperate start, we've seen him, especially last week, have a good outing. Jalen McMillan also got involved here, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are playing for something. I know Chris Godwin's always going to be on the list as well, but or Keenan or no Keenan Allen. What am I doing? Mike Evans is always going to be on this list as well. But what do you think about Chris Godwin this weekend?
Yeah, I think you can consider him just because they have so much to play for, and they've been looking to him in some key spots too,
Hmm.
like big third downs, and they rely on him a little bit more, especially third and six, that short pass that they expect Godwin to get open and get the first down. So yeah, I think you can put him in that conversation.
Yeah, I agree on this one. And again, it's because they're playing for something here. So I'm looking at Chris Godwin. Woody Marks for the Texans. I know we kind of just broke down this game about how their offense really needs to step up, but we saw him return from his injury and kind of pick up where he left off. They really do need him because they're playing potentially still for that division title, so they need some help as well. But I think Woody Marks could see again a heavy workload in this matchup against Indy. That's going to make him valuable enough.
He just hasn't produced enough for fantasy. That's the only issue. He came back last week, 66% of the snaps, 20 touches, 75 total yards. So the volume is there. It's kind of a similar situation with Bucky Irving where we're like, all right, he's getting great volume, but like, what is it translating to? And it's
Mhm.
not been translating to good fantasy numbers. So yeah, it's kind of empty volume at this point for Woody Marks. 19 carries for 71 yards last week and one catch for 4 yards. That's the other aspect. I thought he would be more involved in the passing game, and he
Yes.
was as a part time back. Ever since he's gotten the workload, it's one catch a week.
Yep. That's what we talked about all off season too, is like because we didn't like Nick Chubb. We just said we don't really want to go back there. What could happen? And yeah, he just hasn't
And
gotten
we
it. I
knew,
will
well, I did the Joe Mixon thing. Like
Oh
you could
jeez.
just see
Yeah.
something if you read
That was that was a weird situation all around all year. He never
something.
came back.
Yeah,
Something
something
happened there.
happened
I
that
don't
we're
know
going to
what.
find out about.
That was so odd. Well, and remember they kept trying to tell us too, like, oh no, he's gonna come back eventually. And we never saw him and we never really heard about it either. That was the other part. That was strange.
Yeah, I never drafted him once. Never even
No,
considered it.
no, not even close. And Nick Chubb, I never did either. He had a couple, like I think 2, 3 solid games, but that was it. That was a difficult. If you picked him, he was on your bench.
Yeah, I mean, look, he just has not been the same player. It's not his fault. Always
No.
loved him. He was one of my favorite backs over the last few years, but not the same since suffering those injuries. And we knew that it was not, even if he had the opportunity, which he did, to be the main back, it just wasn't going to happen.
We've got Woody Marks at RB 22 this week. So if you look at the rankings, again, not necessarily must start, but he's in the conversation there. Malik Davis for the
Yes,
Cowboys.
let's
There we
go.
go. There we go. Adam's like hit all the overs. I mean, we probably won't see Javante Williams because he's been banged up. So I mean, Malik Davis has a great matchup against the Giants too. We got him RB 19 this week.
Yeah, I probably would put him higher.
Okay,
Got to make
15.
sure he does play. He was limited in practice yesterday. So just make sure he goes. But yeah, really good spot here against the Giants. And, we saw last week when he got an opportunity, he excelled. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a guy, especially if you have some starters who are not playing or resting. Malik Davis is a guy you could put in 20 carries for 102 yards last week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, he's a definitely, I think, a solid option. And again, just have to make sure he's playing. And if Javante Williams is out in week 18, he has the chance to, I think, be an RB2 in this situation. So that's one to look at. We talked about Ray Davis. I think he also has a chance here. And Zach Charbonnet as well, probably the one, like you said, Adam, that if you're looking at this game, you've got the running backs, you want to go the Zach Charbonnet route just because of the dominant game he gave us in week 17 against Carolina, 18 carries, 110 yards, and what he's been showing us over the past couple of weeks. We just have to follow that.
Yeah. Again, you're going to have to follow all the news today and through the
Yeah.
weekend. And yeah, you have the two games tomorrow. The good thing is, pretty much everyone's playing because it means so much. And then you're just going to have to wait until Sunday to see the reports on who's in, who's out. Not only that, who's going to be pulled early from the game.
Yes.
That's really the biggest thing because we're going to see some of these players start and get pulled early.
And hopefully they tell us, but they probably won't. But just be careful. That's all we can do this week in week 18. So you have to make sure to read up. Again, go to fantasylife.com. As always, we'll have all the information you need to know in the newsletter. So make sure you go and sign up for that. All right, Adam, who are you taking? Panthers, Buccaneers, first game of tomorrow, of Saturday's games. Who do you have?
The Panthers.
Okay, I'm gonna skip the Seahawks 49ers. I'm asking you that last. Okay, Ravens, Steelers. Who are you taking in this one? Are you going Ravens?
Yeah, I think the Ravens win.
Like handily, like by a lot?
No, I can't say
Okay.
a lot. I think it'll
You
be
think it's
close, but
close?
they win. Yeah.
Seahawks 49ers.
49ers.
What?
I'm rooting for the
I know.
Seahawks.
I
I'm
know.
rooting for the
I'm
Seahawks.
nervous about it. I'm nervous about it. I'll make the lasagna. I'll send it to you. The lucky lasagna will be back. Not overnighted though. I can't do that. It's expensive. Have you seen
Ani
that?
said take Sam Darnold in a big spot. So you know what? I changed my mind.
There we go. Thank you, Ani. I appreciate everyone hanging out with us here. Enjoy your weekend. We will be back on Monday.